This Dogman encounter happened in July of 2016 in Rapid City, Michigan. So this is my first time I'm actually sharing this experience with anyone, and it's taken me quite a while to be able to tell it because ever since it's happened, I haven't been the same. I don't sleep as well, constant nightmares. I've been generally getting more ill and just being traumatized. My brother as well, with whom it occurred. Last summer, in July, I was visiting my brother, who happens to live in northern Michigan in a town called Rapid City. The place itself is pretty close to the Traverse State Forest area, in which a long road runs through it called Supply Road. This road has thick forests and brush on both sides, with occasional farms. We had went down the south in Fife Lake, which is only about 30-minute drive from where he lived. He wanted to show me around the area and the lake itself and have some fun with photography. It was about 9 p.m. when we finally decided to call it a day, and it was pretty dark at this point. On the way back, we were both like, fuck it. Let's drive through Traverse State Forest area for a more scenic route, even though it's out of the way. We both love the woods and going through scenic routes, and I loved getting to see new parts of Michigan. As we pulled onto Supply Road, it didn't seem more than 7 or so minutes before we had our experience, or whatever the hell we saw. Going north on this road, on the left side of the road, is about 10 or so feet with clearing, with just dirt and grass before it hits thick brush and trees. It's a little after 9 p.m. at this point, and we're driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and I notice this large, black, like dog on the side of the road. But something wasn't right. It looked like it was crouched down as a human being would be waiting to jump out or something. It wasn't looking over in our direction, but you could tell its head was absolutely canine-like. As we got closer, the lights actually started to shine on it, and it immediately turned its head towards and stood up as it made this horrible hissing sound. I didn't know how else to describe it. Both my brother and I turned sheet white at this point and slammed on our brakes. About 30 feet away from us on the side of the road standing was this, I don't even know what to call it. I want to say Dogman because it's the only thing it really describes what it looked like. This beast had piercing, sharp yellow eyes that for some reason didn't reflect at all when the light hit them. But they almost seemed to glow on their own, which was creepy enough in itself. This thing had a large snout and very sharp, pointed ears with a massive tail. When it hissed at us, you could only see how sharp and massive its teeth were, and how fast it stood up and scared us both. As we had startled this thing honestly looked like it was something out of a horror movie, and if CGI actually looked real. We had our windows rolled down on the way home, and we smelled what we could only describe as mixed garbage, decaying flesh, and wet dog together. We didn't really smell it until after it had stood up and we had slammed on our brakes. This thing was about 8 to 9 feet tall, I would say, with a humongous build. This thing wasn't bulky per se, but it was big and extremely lean. It looked like an extremely masculine and lean human male body. I didn't see any genitalia. This thing was very shaggy and hairy with finger-like claws. Like pretty much you'd see a typical werewolf movie. I didn't get a chance to stare at the feet or anything as I was motionless staring at this thing. We only got to stare at it for what seemed like a few seconds before it let out this horrible scream that shook me and my brother to the core. It immediately started to pace towards our truck aggressively with its claws bared and its teeth baring, as extremely aggressive, ready to kill. Me and my brother screamed at the top of our lungs and floored it as hard as he could. He literally sped all the way home, and we didn't say a word about this the rest of the way. We didn't sleep at all that night, and I haven't been the same since. What I saw that night truly terrified me so badly, and I'm sharing this with people because I hope they can educate themselves and know what's out there. Or it will help someone speak up and share their experience, and not worry about the ridicule.